Hi, in this video we are going to create and execute a Ansible playbook that will create logical switches in the NSX environment. So let's take a look here in our GitHub training course about the playbook. You can see that this to create a logical switch is a pretty simple process. You use a single task. And for the course, we want to create 4 logical switches. So, each logical switch in NSX represents a separate IP subnet. So since we're also going to be creating some routers later in the course, we need to create a few different subnets. We'll use these logical switches for those, and then later we'll demonstrate routing between those subnets. Let's look at the playbook. So if you look at the task to create a logical switch, it's pretty simple. We give it our NSX manager spec, right, which we created in a separate answer file that has our login information as well as our API YAML file information for accessing NSX manager APIs. And we say that we want the state for this logical switch to be present. We give it a transport zone. We name the logical switch. This one will be called transit LS. We tell it which control plane mode we'd like it to use, and we give it a description. Finally, we register the values that Ansible creates as variables to use during this play in case other plays need those variables. Next, we repeat the same task identically with the exception of the name. Right, assuming that all these other parameters you want to be the same. Right, notice the description we've also changed, but the primary value here is the name, and then the name here for AppLS and the name for DBLS. So that'll create 4 switches. So let's go ahead and create our playbook. I'm going to copy this, go to my VI text editor, and have create ls.yaml. We'll type I to go into insert mode. Right click. Looks like I got a clean paste, so I'll type the escape key to leave insert mode. Type colon WQ to write and save, or I'm sorry, to save and quit. And then we'll run our Ansible playbook command. -I for inventory. The name of our inventory file is hosts. And then we'll say create logical switch.yaml and run the play. Oops, and we can see very quickly, if we go to this run the playbook, see the first thing that we're supposed to do is make sure that we are in the appropriate directory. If I look at my directory, you can see I'm still in my home directory rather than my NSX Ansible. So let's just move that create logical switch.yaml to let's see, NSX Ansible. Actually, I should have moved it, but. And then we'll change into our NSX Ansible directory. And we can see we're now in the right directory. And let's go ahead and try to run that play now from the correct directory. And these tasks are just, they're not spinning up any new virtual machines, so they run very quickly. And it looks like we have all 4 of our tasks now run. We can see all 4 of them reported as OK, and all 4 of them resulted in a change. Nothing was unreachable or failed. So let's look at how we're going to validate our results. Right. Open up our vSphere web client and look at our logical switches section to make sure that those switches are now there. So from the home page, I clicked on networking and security, and then we'll go to logical switches, and we can see each of the logical switches that we created in that play are now here working in our NSX environment. And that's it for this video. Thank you.